In recent decades, water scarcity has become a global issue, even in the US. Agriculture is a major use of ground and surface water in the United States, accounting for approximately 80% of the nation's consumptive water use. This comes from massive non-regenerative monoculture farms that not only use a lot of water, but in the process make the soil less absorbent, wasting more in the future. When the soil can't absorb water, it releases the water to the surface, which gets moved around by gravity called runoff. Many farms use fertilizers and synthetic chemicals that can be poison to other water sources or soils via runoff. The source of all this runoff comes from the use of non-regenerative practices like tilling, plowing, and leaving the soil bare. These techniques lower the quality of the soil, making it harder to absorb water and destroying the microecosystem of the soil. Harsh downpours can lead to polluted runoff and erosion because the ground simply isn't able to absorb the precipitation at the rate it's falling. Luckily, by implementing regenerative farming practices, we can reverse and repair the soil. Techniques like no-till farming, the practice of limiting disturbance of the soil structure and preventing erosion, and cover cropping, or keeping the soil covered with plants, are both ways to improve the quality of the soil and decrease our water use.
The relationship between water quality and agriculture is extremely codependent. The quality of water entering an agricultural area influences the crop's success. High concentrations of salt and pollutants impact plants' water absorption. However, conventional agriculture is responsible for a fair amount of those pollutants, pesticides, herbicides, and other harsh chemicals. To address the water crisis, we need to address water management and agriculture. It's a huge part of the resolution.
If you aren't a farmer, why should you care about soil? Well, you'd be surprised to know how critical soil health is for food security and climate change. Soil filters and stores water, captures greenhouse emissions, and protects plant roots from extreme temperature changes. And most importantly, supports plant growth by housing tiny organisms called microbes. These microbes decompose organic matter and cycle essential nutrients to the plant roots and the soil. Without these microbes, it would be impossible for plants to grow. There are a variety of different microbes, with each playing a distinct role in improving soil composition, fertility, and protection. They act as a support for the plants by bringing in essential nutrients from the soil, nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. In times of nutrient drought, such as after repeated planting of the same crop, the microbes can get the necessary nutrients from decomposing matter to the plants. With the cultivation of microbes, we can produce food on a consistent and large scale, ensuring our food security for decades to come.
How to Start a Garden by the KSU Food Forest team. Step 1. Do the research. Consider the type of garden you want and what size you want it to be. It is crucial to do research on the type of plants you want to have in your garden. Some plants can be harmful to each other, so they should not be planted together, while companion plants thrive in the same environment. Step 2. Figure out the location. Should the plants be inside or outside? Do they like direct sunlight or more shaded areas? This information should be based on the research you've done. Step 3. Plan the layout. Take into consideration how tall your plants will grow and how large they would be. Pairing plants together may be fine now, but in the future it can cause problems. Step 4. Prepare the soil and add compost. Begin clearing the area of any pre-existing weeds and roots from invasive plants. Add compost and nutrients to the soil. You can look at previous posts to find out how to make your own compost. Step 5. Pick your plants and start planting. Most people like to buy potted plants instead of growing from a seed. If you do, make sure that you dig a hole that is 2 times wider and deeper than the pot it came in. Step 6. Water your new garden. Even if it rains, you need to water your garden. Water helps keep the soil damp and hydrated. Step 7. Add a layer of mulch. Mulch helps to keep the weeds out and the moisture in, so it is important to spread a layer of mulch around your garden.
Food insecurity is a global issue that continues to grow and leaves many uncertain if they will be able to provide themselves and their families with proper nutrition. Regular access to food that is healthy and provides the proper nutrition to live is vital to supporting human life. Food insecurity is the concept used to describe when a household does not have this consistent access, resulting in a reduced quality of life and even developmental issues in children. Food insecurity within Atlanta is over double the rate of the national average. The number is continuing to grow within the surrounding communities despite government policy and community efforts, so the question is, how do we address food insecurity? At KSU, the KSU Food Forest is being designed to provide food to their own community while also being a sustainable model for other communities. The challenge is making sure that access is gained by all people. While KSU's Food Forest is still under construction, those interested in addressing food insecurity can support local urban agriculture around Atlanta or create their own home gardens.